Good afternoon all, Spiky Bandit here and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be taking on the most formidable challenge I have ever considered in pursuit of what I believe is a world first.
It's gonna be some kind of a record!
Beating Resident Evil 7 on Madhouse difficulty with only the base game handguns. Let's confirm the challenge's rules. Number 1, only handguns found during regular gameplay are allowed. Number 2, Madhouse difficulty only. And finally, number 3, no reward items and no DLC items allowed. All of this means no Albert, no infinite ammo and no DLC coins. Madhouse would crush me repeatedly and frequently, and when it did let me live, it only did so to taunt me by leaving me without ammo to defend myself. Suffice to say that I have suffered in pursuit of this challenge and now have an insight into madness itself. Yet, I sit here now, ignoring the voices in my head and wearing my tinfoil hat, preparing to share my experience. As to whether or not it was worth it, well, that's something you will have to stick around to find out. Let's get to it.
Excellent!
We open with Ethan arriving at a rundown estate in Dovey, Louisiana in search of his missing wife Mia. There have been reports of many missing people in the area, and clearly something is going on. Ethan, being both incredibly brave and incredibly foolish, begins by breaking into a creepy old house, going through a secret passage, and then down to the murder basement. After being remarkably unstartled by a waterlogged corpse, we find Mia and make a break for freedom.
We need to go now!
Unfortunately, Mia isn't thrilled to see Ethan. Something about a voice in her head, I think.
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
After receiving some horrific injuries, become the witness to self-harm, and discovering an amazing magical potion, we decided to let Mia have a nap and see if she cools off a little bit. Of course, she doesn't, which almost immediately forces us to fail the challenge as we have to clobber her with an axe. I joke, of course, being that unavoidable scripted events aren't considered a failure. Of course, if you disagree, you can always do so loudly and aggressively in the comments. We receive a mysterious phone call telling us to escape through the attic, and then immediately get ambushed by Mia, nailed to the wall, and mutilated. For some reason, she decides not to finish the job.
I forgot.
Allowing Ethan to grab his missing limb, just in case it comes in a little bit handy. In the attic, we find our first handgun and put it to work defending ourselves once more against Mia. The battle is thankfully straightforward. As long as we survive, we don't have to worry about ammo conservation since we don't get to keep this ammo anyway. All we really need to do is run to the far side of the room, shoot Mia in the head repeatedly until she gets close, and then somehow block a chainsaw. Rinse and repeat until she goes down. With her dispatched, we get clocked by Jack and the game begins in earnest.
Shit just got real.
With her hand reattached, we are treated to a lovely home-cooked meal from our caring hosts.
Eat it. It's good.
You boys got to eat.
Sorry, I meant to say we're stabbed in the mouth by a raging lunatic. Easy to get confused, I guess. We need keys to escape and Jack just so happens to be standing beside them. After running headfirst into danger and taking some lumps in return, we retreat with the keys. Jack then decides to chop off our goddamn leg and provide us with some more magic potion to reattach it. I just don't get this family. We get to meet the friendly local deputy, say goodbye to the friendly local deputy, decide to run Jack down with a car, and have a near-death experience. Then become an unwilling participant in assisted suicide.
This is too much.
Still, could be worse. We got a new handgun, the G17, so we're all set now. Unfortunately, Jack is already on the prowl in the house, so exploring at this point really isn't an option. We could grab the Scorpion key and make our way straight to the basement to avoid him, but if we do that then we can't get the assault coin early, as we won't have enough antique coins to purchase it. This increases our damage output by 15%, which may not sound like much, but trust me when I say it's a game changer. Instead, we head up to the bathroom to grab the statuette, use it to open a secret passage, nail the crawler in the safe room hall,
Headshot.
and then head to the basement. We run a very precise route, grabbing all the supplies we can carry, most notably enhanced handgun rounds. These rounds are limited, but they are essentially the lifeblood of this run. We grab the dissection room key and make a break to the aforementioned room to trigger a cutscene with Jack. With this triggered, he no longer patrols upstairs, allowing us to explore. Back upstairs, we go about grabbing all the supplies we can find, including the assault coin and 2 of the dog's heads. Now it's time to brave the basement gauntlet once more on our way to our first boss fight, Basement Jack. This fight sucks. I mean, it really, really sucks. I died or otherwise failed here over and over and over again. Jack just kept killing us, and when we didn't get taken out by him, we were left without ammo or healing, and without hope of completing the run. I was convinced that the run would end here. Being the diligent challenge run gamer I am, I gave up and went to sleep in utter defeat. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I could solve this. The thought plagued me. In a near delirious state, in the small hours of the morning, I gave up on sleep and began to do research. I was going to solve this. The crux of this fight is that you simply aren't supposed to do it using a gun. Rather, you should use the chainsaw provided. You need to hurt Jack enough to put him in a vulnerable state where his gooey insides are on display before you can actually hurt his health. This can take up to 15 regular handgun rounds. Once in this state, you need to put 15 enhanced handgun rounds into him, sometimes more. Realistically, you can get between 2 and 3 shots into him per cycle, meaning you need at least 5 cycles. If we do the maths, we can clearly see that we require a metric shit ton of bullets, with any mistake leading to an additional shit ton of bullets required. And that is without considering missed shots. Thankfully, I just about had a shit ton of bullets. So I got Jack's pattern down, avoided getting my head chopped off, changed my cursor colour to green in an attempt to improve my accuracy, and then went to work. The margins were thin, but it was possible to get through this fight and have enough ammo left. I had to try, couldn't fail the run this early. After about 20 more attempts, we got the golden run, where we didn't waste all of our healing, and we downed Jack with a decent enough supply of bullets to proceed. Thank God for that.
And I love it when a plan comes together.
We have a nerve-wracking run back to the safe room, almost getting taken out by a molded along the way, and then we head out to the yard. With that absolute ordeal out of the way, we proceed into the old house in pursuit of a cure to the infection plaguing the Baker estate. This isn't so bad. We have to dodge a whole load of bugs and a few moulded, but we manage to restock our supplies a bit along the way. Of course, the next issue makes itself quickly known. We have to destroy the nest block in the fireplace. Being that the game expects us to use a flamethrower rather than a handgun, this is an absolute bullet dump. After more or less depleting our entire regular handgun supply, we head through to the secret room, say hi to Mia, and grab another statuette. Marguerite decides to put in an appearance. But she isn't hard to avoid, so we use the statuette to head through another secret passage and grab the crank. With this in hand, we are able to grab the crow key and access the upper floor. Of course, Marguerite doesn't want us to go upstairs and decides to pile drive us through some rotten floorboards. This fight isn't too bad though. We want to take her out while conserving as much ammo as we can, so the strategy is simple. Don't shoot the bugs, run in circles to avoid the bugs, and shoot Marguerite in the head. With her taken care of, we watch her dissolve like the Wicked Witch of the West, and then head upstairs to discover that the cure involves some mysterious body parts. For some reason, this doesn't faze Ethan.
A D-series head and an arm.
Over in the greenhouses, we come across something wondrous. A new gun, and we're actually allowed to use it. The M19 is awesome, relatively speaking, providing a 20% damage boost per bullet at the cost of a smaller clip size. A worthwhile trade-off when running out of bullets could stop this run dead. We head through to face our next challenge, the Marguerite boss fight. Okay, so I don't think I need to tell you that this fight is an absolute nightmare. But we have put a whole lot of work into getting this far, and I'm not giving up now. Talking about a whole lot of work, if you're enjoying my efforts, then please feel free to subscribe for more content. Heck, if you really appreciate the effort, then you can always buy me a coffee via the link in the description or on my channel page. Anyway, back to it. I did my research early this time and worked out that we should just about be able to beat her using the ammo we have on us and the guaranteed spawns in the boss fight. We aren't really able to miss many shots though, which is something I was made painfully aware of in a few failed attempts.
You're out of bullets. And you know what that means. You're shit out of luck.
Thankfully, Marguerite herself is pretty easy. When she is lumbering towards you, it's easy to just shoot her in the weak spot. If she gets close, you just need to run away and create distance. If she starts to crawl, then just run to another area until she gets bored and starts lumbering after you again. The absolutely brutal part though is her ability to spawn insect nests at seemingly random locations. She just disappears from sight, and then you have to try and listen for her strained groans before rushing her down, if you're lucky enough to even find her. If she spawns a nest, then it's game over. We can't spare the bullets to take the insects or the nest out, and they'll just continuously harass you until you're a swollen mass of flesh writhing on the ground. Eventually, after about 4 hours of effort, I found the perfect spot that allowed me to respond to all of her strategies. I nailed almost every shot, I stopped every spawn, I got chased in circles a lot, and eventually, with my heart pounding in my chest, I fired a shot that caused her to let out a cry, turn to stone, and crumble to dust. We had done it, and we even had ammo to spare for later.
What a relief!
After that ordeal, I needed a break. I needed a side quest. Thankfully, that is exactly what I got. Lucas decided that we had to go fetch some MacGuffins before proceeding into his House of Horrors. We sprint through the main house basement in record time, pull a key out of the deputy's neck hole, and then beeline back to the upper floors, getting battered in the process. We open a secret passageway in the main bedroom, and then head down to another creepy murder room, grabbing some supplies and a keycard en route. Up in the attic, we solve another shadow puzzle, and then grab the second keycard. After popping a couple of crawlers in the yard, we head into the House of Horrors. So, it turns out, Lucas is approximately 52 cards short of the full deck. And he really wants to play some games with us. We oblige him by avoiding all of his traps and running away from his moulded mates. That is, of course, until the barn fight. Would you be surprised to hear that this was ridiculously tough? Yeah, thought not. So the plan was simple: get rid of one of the fatties as quick as possible by any means necessary, then take our time to whittle down the second one using basic ammo. This didn't go to plan.
I was way off.
I attempted to nail one of them while it was still in the elevator and then finish it off as soon as it stepped outside, but I'm not entirely convinced that the damage done while in the elevator actually counts. I tried this a few times and simply got overwhelmed. The next strategy was much more successful though. Wait at the top of the stairs and unload enhanced ammo into its head until it gets too close. Back up and try to lure it towards an explosive box that we can then trigger to finish it off. It was a little unpredictable, but it got the job done. After that, it was simply a case of taking pot shots at the other one and keeping our distance. Not easy, but definitely possible. With that fight over, we head through to the world's worst escape room and make short work of it.
Problem solved.
On the pier, we have amazing luck and find a big old pile of ammo, raise the bridge to the boathouse, kill a crawler, and make a dash for it, mostly avoiding damage. At this point, it's pretty clear that the game is starting to give us a break, being that it absolutely buries us in ammo for a change. Either that, or we're about to face another brutal challenge and we're going to need it all. Okay, pause for suspense. So yeah, this one wasn't too bad actually. Don't get me wrong, I really did need most of the ammo and I burned through most of my healing, but that was down to poor performance rather than the fight being incredibly difficult. We open the fight by trading blows with Jack while we take out his eyes. I'm not actually certain that this affects his ability to find you, but it seems sensible to start here just in case it does. From there, we simply alternate between the top and bottom floors, dodging blows where possible, or taking them on the chin when we can't dodge them. We pop eyeball after eyeball. Fire breaks out to increase the tension. We unload an unbelievable amount of regular ammo into his weak spots before he fakes our retreat and takes us into the second phase. In the second phase, we block a few more blows and unload into his head, coming dangerously close to dying in the process. Ultimately though, we take him down. But wait, it's a fake out and he grabs us. Thankfully though, we have the cure on us, so we cure him. Kill him. Jack goes down and we've actually cleared a boss fight with a decent supply of ammo for a change. Out on the dock, we're faced with a choice. We only have one cure in hand and we have to choose between Mia and Zoe. I say choose, but really the choice has already been made for us. We save Mia.
There was no other way.
Not because we have a deep or meaningful connection or anything. No, I just want to avoid an unnecessary fight with her later, which would happen if we didn't save her. Zoe's suitably pissed off.
Don't bother. There won't be anyone left to help!
But there's nothing we can do about that now. Let's get out of here. After a quick dip in the swamp, we wake up on the shore by a shipwreck with a new identity. As Mia, we proceed into the ship, begin experiencing visions of the girl from the ring and other flashbacks. I think something bad might have happened here. In a flashback sequence, we are shown the origin of the infection. It turns out the girl is connected. Huh, didn't see that coming. Anyway, this sequence isn't so bad for the most part. We are entirely defenceless without a handgun, but most of the enemies can simply be avoided. The ship's lower levels are where it gets tough, as there is one corridor that is outright blocked by enemies. Even if we do somehow get past them, we get stuck waiting for the elevator without any hope of surviving until it arrives. Instead, we Congo line the molded down a corridor, and then skirt past them easily enough, closing the door behind us so they can't catch up. After a bit more ducking and weaving, we proceed to the end of this section and get blown out of the ship in dramatic fashion. Back in present day, we need to make our way back to the same lower levels to save Ethan. To do this, we need to fix the elevator, which means we have another fetch quest on our hands. This too isn't terribly difficult, with us mostly being able to run from room to room to dodge the enemies and gather supplies. It turns out, molded can't open doors. Kinda lowers the threat level a little bit, doesn't it? We might not have a weapon to defend ourselves, but our quick wits are the only defence we need. That is until two fat motherfuckers decide to back us into a corner and belly bounce us to near death.
I'm sorry about that.
I cannot overstate how utterly terrifying this experience was. Through a combination of repeated desperate healing and running directly into these monstrosities, we were eventually able to slip past these greasy bastards and through to freedom. With the required cables and fuse in hand, we fix the elevator and then head down to the lower level. From there, we simply close our eyes and run for dear life until we find a gooped up Ethan. With Ethan free and Mia retaining just enough control to know that she's definitely not in control.
Are you ready to go crazy?
I'm already hearing voices!
We, as Ethan, leave Mia behind and leave the ship for the final stretch of the game. After a full restock in the cabin before the salt mine, we head through to face the music. We run the enemies outside in circles for a while before heading down to the mine. We down a crawler, make use of some convenient traps, smoosh the heck out of some molded using a minecart, and then head through to the secret lab. This is the last item box, and our last chance to get kitted for the game's finale. And for the first time in the run, we have ammo, and a whole hell of a lot of it. We also don't have a run-ending super freight up ahead that will require every bullet we have to take down. We can use this ammo. We can have fun. So we do have fun. We kill everything in sight. All that rage and frustration that we have had to swallow down earlier. All of the times we had to hold back. Now it's the time to embrace it. We pop skulls left, right and centre. We obliterate a trio of fatties, and then we proceed up the ladder to the guest house, naturally forgetting, in our excitement, that the ladder was booby-trapped. Ah well, you can't stop this train now. A bomb isn't going to keep us down. We head back up to the guest house, deal with a few hallucinations, and then come face to face with Granny Rags herself. Turns out she's the little girl in the freight and something like that. Ah well, it's complicated, let's just deal with her. Somehow, in an effort to cure her, we transform her into a giant abomination. Smooth. But that's fine, as it's just something we can unload into. So we do just that. We open fire and get knocked about a bit in response. We open fire some more and get knocked about some more. We get a bigger gun. A gun that some would label as the ultimate handgun. Very fitting, I guess. So fitting that we don't hesitate to use it to good effect. Ending Granny Rags and answering the question: can you beat Resident Evil 7 on Madhouse with only base handguns? Yes, you can. But you really shouldn't. It was awful, and really required a hell of a lot of luck. But we did it, and it is quite an awesome achievement, if I do say so myself. Right, I think I'm going to go lie down for a bit now, or maybe go see a therapist. I think I need some help. I'm not sure how I'm coming back from this one. It's going to be a bit of work, I reckon. In the meantime, if you need an intense challenge fix, why don't you check out the video linked on screen? That one is a real doozy. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.